I go on Facebook and I go to share my video, Can Viruses Be Man-Made?, where I pretty much speculate. First of all, the first thing I speculated was, could it have started in a lab? And then I go on to explain to people, I don't know whether this came from nature or how it was manipulated or if it came from a lab. I don't know, and I'm not trying to say I do, but this question I'm asking is very valid, and I'm wondering why nobody in the media is asking this question. All I can do is point out the evidence. I didn't make any grandiose claims. I just pointed out what the mainstream media doesn't do. So they fact-checked me with this stupid article from USA Today. It says, fact check. Did the coronavirus originate in a Chinese laboratory? From Molly Stellino. So I guess Molly Stellino is the new Mussolini who just runs all facts on the internet and has to supersede me on Facebook over my video because she knows so much about the Chinese laboratories. Okay, so they're trying to make the point that it didn't come from a Chinese laboratory. Let's read the article. USA Today. There is no evidence to suggest that the virus was created in a Chinese laboratory. People who have claimed it started in a lab cite only the geographical proximity of the Wuhan Institute of Virology, a research lab in Wuhan. First of all, Molly, USA Today Molly, watch my video. Everybody who talks about this only mentions this one thing always. I mentioned 50 things that you would never mention in your phony newspaper, so that's not even true to begin with. But here's the problem with even that lie in their fact checker article that's all we're talking about, is today in the Washington Post it came out, oh no Molly, oh no USA Today, oh no Facebook fact checkers, you're already outdated with your stupid little lies. Washington Post said, State Department cables warning of safety issues at Wuhan lab studying bat coronavirus. Oh no, it's in your friends the Washington Post now. What are you going to do about your fake article? Let's see who else reported on it today. You guys are just 2 weeks late and I was 2 weeks early. Business Insider. U.S. officials were reportedly concerned that safety breaches at a Wuhan lab studying coronavirus in bats could cause a pandemic. So before this happened, U.S. officials were concerned that the safety breaches at the Wuhan lab of a coronavirus in bats, sound familiar, could lead to a pandemic. Oh no, Molly. Oh no, fact checkers at USA Today who have to go over my video and say, hey, read our stupid article that makes no sense. It's already outdated. The Washington Post and Business Insider are adding more evidence saying U.S. officials knew that this lab was a safety hazard for years. Okay, let's move down to the other things they're saying in this brilliant USA Today article that they have to put over my video. The Washington Post reported most countries have abandoned their bioweapons programs after years of work did not yield satisfactory results. So first of all, let's all use our brains here. Does anybody in their right mind believe that every country on the planet abandoned their bioweapons programs? This is the stupid USA Today fact checker article over my video. It's trying to make you believe that every country just magically abandoned their bioweapons programs. We've been researching bioweapons for decades, but that's like the United States military. It's like, the Air Force has been really effective for a long time, but I think we're just going to abandon airplanes and, naval ships because, they seem outdated. No one's abandoning their bioweapons programs just because the Washington Post said it. The same Washington Post. I have more evidence in my video than Washington Post had for 2 years making up this fake Trump-Russia collusion conspiracy theory that led to absolutely nothing. A few indictments that had nothing to do with Trump and Russia. So let's go into the evidence since the USA Today is lying and saying, oh, Washington Post reported, just because they said it, they must be God or Mussolini or something. They control the whole country. Every country must have abandoned their bioweapons programs. Let's look at New York Times. A federal ban on making lethal viruses is lifted. This is a few years ago. Let's go down. BBC. U.S. lifts ban on lethal virus experience despite security risk. So not only did what they say probably not happen, I can't prove it, but it sounds very unlikely, but almost the opposite happened in reality of what USA Today says. The United States lifted a ban on lethal viruses. Before 2017, they had a moratorium or whatever you want to call it, saying you can't study lethal viruses because there's security risks. They knew this in 2017. The U.S. lifted the ban on it. I'm guessing China never had a ban on it. So what are you even talking about, USA Today? Trying to act like there's no possible way that anybody could create a bioweapon? I mean, even Bill Gates says it. Let's listen to Bill Gates talk about it.
We also face a new threat that the next epidemic has a good chance of originating on a computer screen of a terrorist intent on using genetic engineering to create a synthetic version of the smallpox virus or a contagious and highly deadly strain of flu. So the point is that we ignore the strong link between health security and international security at our peril. Whether it occurs by the quirk of nature or at the hand of a terrorist, epidemiologists show through their models that a respiratory spread pathogen would kill more than 30 million people in less than a year. And there is a reasonable probability of that taking place in the years ahead. This is also where we see many epidemics starting. For example, Ebola.
And this was in my video, by the way, that you had to fact check. If instead of overshadowing my videos, you should just shut your mouth and listen to what I'm saying, and then maybe you could do a better job yourself, because your article's pathetic and mine's not. All right, so are we going to fact check Bill Gates now? Is Bill Gates a conspiracy theorist who needs a little bubble on all his videos? Because he literally said exactly what I said in my video, and I actually quoted him saying it. He said, we could probably experience a pandemic from a natural disease or one that's created on a computer screen. He calls it bioterrorism. It's a fact that could happen. Bill Gates knows it. I know it. You know it. Why are you trying to cover up my video, you little sneaky, disingenuous snakes? If you thought their stupid fact check article couldn't get any stupider, you're wrong, because I'm about to embarrass them in the most embarrassing way. Facebook admins, I hope you're watching this so you can see how disingenuous these people are that you overshadowed my video with, and how much more accurate I am, laughably so. Okay, so in the USA Today article fact check that came up on my video, it says, Richard Ebright, a professor of chemical biology at Rutgers University, said in an interview with the Washington Post, based on the virus genome and the properties, there is no indication whatsoever that it was an engineered virus. So this is Richard Ebright. If you remember, what's the premise of this article? I'm going to read it again. Did the coronavirus originate in a Chinese laboratory? So that's what they're fact checking. Did it originate in a laboratory? They just quoted Richard Ebright. Guess what else Richard Ebright said? This is from the Bulletin of Atomic Scientists. Ebright thinks that it is possible that COVID-19 pandemic started as an accidental release from a laboratory, such as the one of the two in Wuhan that are known to be studying bat coronaviruses. So the exact chemical biology person at Rutgers University that they used in their fact check article to say that it couldn't be created in a laboratory, he himself thinks it was created in a laboratory. You idiots, get off my video. YouTube, Facebook, whoever it is, USA Today, you're idiots. You are an idiot, whoever wrote this. So you used Richard Ebright to claim that it wasn't created it wasn't leaked out of a lab, and he himself thinks it was possibly an accidental leak out of a laboratory. You monumental imbeciles. So let's read the end of the USA Today article. They said, our ruling false. The claim that coronavirus began in a Chinese laboratory, we claim as false based on our research. Who cares what you think? You're such an idiot. You used a scientist who himself thinks it could have been an accidental release in your fact checker article that you put over my video to claim that it couldn't have began in a Chinese laboratory when the scientist that you used said it probably could have began in a Chinese laboratory. You idiots. Get off my video. Facebook, leave me alone. Why would you be so stupid? And if you watch my video, it's filled with facts that are interesting. Can you patent a disease? I said in my video from the CBC. The Dutch group patented genome of Middle East coronavirus. A Dutch group patented a genome of the Middle East coronavirus, which has killed more than 30 people. I proved in my video you can patent a disease. Coronaviruses have been patented before. They have been man-altered, and you can only patent something if it's man-made or man-altered. So you can't patent something that happens naturally in society or naturally in nature, but you can patent something that is altered. And to the morons that write on my video and say, you can't man-make a virus, you can only alter it. You can't make anything unless you're God. Do you make a car? You don't make a car. You use metal, you use plastic, you use liquids, and you melt it together, and then you create a car. You don't create a car. Do you build a fire? You don't build a fire. You put sticks in fire. So no one creates anything but God, but the word man-made doesn't literally mean man-made. You don't create anything from everything that's man-made is man-altered. Unless you create the elements from scratch, no one does that except for the person who created this entire planet. These people are such idiots. Forbes writes an article. Nearly 30% of Americans believe that the coronavirus came from a lab despite complete lack of evidence, says, what's her name? Rachel Sandler from Forbes. She looks like a real winner. Leave it to your Uncle Adam, okay? He's funny. I'm not sure if he's really your uncle, jokes aside. He makes good movies. He makes people laugh. Leave the tough stuff to him. Let's read the article. Forbes. While scientists are still studying how the virus first infected humans and don't yet know who patient zero is, you don't know. They admit right in the article. The consensus of the scientific, there is no consensus. They don't know. The consensus of the scientific community, the World Health Organization didn't know in January that it came from human to human transmission. In February, they thought the travel ban was fear and stigma. In March, the Surgeon General said he used to think that the virus wasn't asymptomatic when everybody knew it was asymptomatic. They said they didn't think that masks worked when everybody knows how masks work. They should know how masks work. They're the head of health departments in this country. And to this liar from USA Today said, the people who are saying that it could have leaked out of a laboratory are only talking about the Wuhan labs. No, I also talked about in my video the Harvard chemistry chair who was charged with lying about his China contract, which I'm going to play in the video. NBC News, January 28th, 2020. Harvard's chemistry chair charged with lying about China contract. Federal agents allege the professor violated U.S. law by not disclosing the money he received to the Defense Department, NBC News. So the chair of Harvard's Department of Chemistry and Chemical Biology allegedly violated federal law by not disclosing his involvement in China's Thousand Talents plan to the Defense Department, including money he received. The unsealed charging documents allege that under the Thousand Talents contract, Lieber was paid $50,000 in monthly salary by China's Wuhan University of Technology and another $158,000 in living expenses. Here's where it gets more interesting. He was also awarded some $1.74 million to set up a research lab there. And if you read, yeah, it is a little suspicious when you have People's Daily of China saying, China's first biosafety level 4 lab has been put into operation in Wuhan, central China's Hubei. We will be, experimenting with capable pathogenic microorganisms. China Daily said, take a look at the largest virus bank in Asia. Wuhan Institute of Virology in central China's Hubei province preserves more than 1,500 different strains of virus. So if you're talking about the entire country of China, you're saying it started from, what's it called? A wet market that's right next to the lab. It's like winning the lottery with half a ticket. I mean, the chances of that happening naturally are very rare. And now there's evidence to back up what I'm saying, which is the State Department even says they warned that Wuhan lab for years about studying coronavirus in bats and how it could cause a pandemic. So what a monumentally imbecilic, is that even a word? Stupido, pathetic, losers, trying to fact check my video, which is filled with facts, filled with information, filled with speculation, Bill Gates interviews, CBC, mainstream articles, mainstream scientists. It's all in my video, and I speculate. I said, I don't know where this virus came from. I said, could it have gotten leaked from the lab by mistake? Now they're catching up to my reporting. Could it have been a purposeful bioweapon? In their world, they say no. Nothing ever happens unless we say it happens. The mainstream media covers up some of the world's worst things. That's all they do. USA Today, Washington Post, New York Times, ABC, NBC, MSNBC, CNN, and in some cases even Fox News. They're not journalists. They don't investigate. They don't speculate. They don't look at the facts. They lie to you. You can look at the origins of the word conspiracy theory. That's the same thing with the science is settled. How dare you question the science? You don't know the science. You don't know who patient zero is. You don't know whether it leaked from the lab or not. You don't know when it came to the United States. You don't know if it was a purposeful leak, even if it occurred in nature or it was man-made or man-altered. Regardless of the two, you could still use nature as a weapon. Even if you didn't alter it, it still could be some sort of a bioweapon. We don't know, but they're not even trying to study that. What they're trying to do is taking people like me who do 20,000 times as good of a job as they could ever dream of doing. I do it independently, no record label, no big business, no donors, no big mainstream media organization, no funding, no political groups behind me. I get 10 million views. They have all the money, all the funding, all the resources, all the editors, all the fancy cameras, and they can't reach as many people as I can. Because they're not as compelling, they're not as good, they're not as accurate, they're not as honest. So what do they have to do? They have to put a big stupid article on a big stupid fact checker right on top of my video that goes to their stupid article that's so outdated, that doesn't include the information from today that even the State Department agrees with. It quotes a scientist quoting him saying, oh, he said this, so that means it couldn't have been leaked out of a lab. That same scientist thinks it was leaked out of a lab, and then they're trying to quote the Washington Post saying that bioweapons programs across the globe have been disbanded because they're not effective. I mean, what idiots. So I hope you enjoyed this video. What I'm going to do, people said, Anomaly, you should sue him. I'm not lawyer happy. What I'm going to do is I'm already getting stars on this video. I'm going to invest that money into the stock market, and then I'm going to download this video, repackage it, put all the proof of everything I just said to you right up on the screen so even the dumbest person who works at USA Today or Facebook can understand it. And then I'm going to upload it, and then I'm going to profit off of that. So not to brag, but I'm going to profit off their stupidity. I'm going to profit off their lies, their deception, their dishonesty, their inaccuracy. And that'll be my form of, revenge on these losers. So it's just pathetic. It's like, at least if you fact check my video, put an article that actually makes sense. I just debunked that article. Idiots, clowns, losers. Leave me alone. Stay on your basketball court. Stay in your media organization. Stay in your lane. Your job is to lie. Your job is to deceive. Your job is to cover up some of the world's sickest stuff going on. Your job is deception. Your job is to carry water for the elites and the establishment, the political establishment in this world. That's your job. My job is to tell the truth. My job is to be accurate. My job is to speculate and investigate. So let me do my job without your little stupid ads coming on them. We don't want you. Nobody believes you. Nobody should believe you. Go away. Get off my channel. Get off my videos. Or I'm just going to keep embarrassing you. Losers. All right. I'll read some questions and I'm going to get out.